Atomic Habits by James Clear in 24 minutes. Let's go. Starting with the fundamentals. Chapter 1. The surprising power of atomic habits. Incremental changes in our daily routines can lead to significant improvements over time. This approach was exemplified by the transformation of British cycling under the leadership of Dave Brailsford. His philosophy, the aggregation of marginal gains, emphasized the potential of making small enhancements in every aspect of cycling. By seeking a 1% improvement in everything from equipment to training practices, the team achieved remarkable success, including dominating the Olympic Games and winning the Tour de France multiple times. Brailsford's strategy demonstrates that progress is not always the result of major changes or breakthroughs. Instead, it's the accumulation of small adjustments that, when combined, produce dramatic results. This principle can be applied beyond cycling, to personal habits and productivity. By making a commitment to improve just 1% every day, you can experience substantial growth over time. The math behind this concept is compelling. If you improve by just 1% every day for a year, you end up about 37 times better by the end of the year. Conversely, if you get 1% worse each day for 1 year, you'll decline nearly down to zero. This stark contrast highlights the power of small gains and the importance of maintaining positive habits. It is important to shift the focus from setting ambitious goals to establishing effective systems. Goals are useful for direction, but it's the systems, the processes and habits, that ensure we make continual progress. Concentrating on systems rather than goals helps avoid the pitfalls associated with goal-oriented thinking, such as tying happiness to specific outcomes, experiencing short-lived successes, and overlooking the importance of small wins. Moreover, the journey towards improvement is often non-linear. Many efforts seem to make no visible impact until a certain threshold is crossed. This plateau of latent potential is a phase where persistence and patience are crucial. The most significant outcomes of compounding efforts, like those seen in British cycling's success, are delayed, emphasizing the need for a long-term commitment to incremental improvement. In embracing atomic habits, we recognize that significant change doesn't necessarily require drastic actions. Small, consistent efforts can compound into remarkable achievements. This approach not only leads to sustained growth and success, but also makes the process enjoyable and fulfilling, allowing us to find satisfaction in the daily pursuit of becoming better. Chapter 2. How your habits shape your identity and vice versa. The transformation of habits is rooted in 3 levels: outcomes, processes, and identity. Outcomes are the goals we aim to achieve, such as losing weight or finishing a book. Processes involve the systems and routines we implement, like daily exercise or writing schedules. The deepest level, identity, encompasses our self-perceptions and beliefs, such as seeing ourselves as healthy individuals or writers. This framework suggests that true change doesn't just happen by hitting specific targets, outcomes, or following a set of actions, processes, but by evolving our self-identity. For lasting habits, we shift from what we want to do or achieve to who we want to be. By embedding new habits, we cast votes for our desired identity, gradually reshaping who we are in alignment with our actions. This identity-based approach to habit change emphasizes becoming overachieving, focusing on the transformation of our very selves. For instance, adopting the habit of writing daily doesn't just help you write a book, it reinforces the identity of being a writer. Each action you take is essentially a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Over time, these votes accumulate, solidifying your new identity. Chapter 3. How to build better habits in 4 simple steps. In 1898, Edward Thorndike's experiments with cats in puzzle boxes demonstrated the foundational concept of habit formation, illustrating how behaviors followed by satisfying outcomes tend to be repeated. This principle underpins our understanding of habits, which are behaviors repeated enough times to become automatic. The process begins with trial and error and evolves into a 4-step pattern: cue, craving, response, and reward. The cue is a trigger that signals a potential reward, sparking a craving or desire to act. The response is the actual habit performed, which, if it results in a satisfying reward, reinforces the habit loop. This loop, cue, craving, response, reward, operates continuously, guiding our actions often without our conscious awareness. It helps our brain to automate solutions to recurring problems, effectively creating mental shortcuts learned from experience. Habits serve to reduce cognitive load, freeing up mental capacity for other tasks. They do not restrict freedom but create it by handling the basics of life automatically, allowing for greater mental space to pursue new challenges. Understanding the habit loop is crucial for building better habits and ultimately for achieving desired outcomes through repeated, automatic behaviors. The first law: make it obvious. Chapter 4: The Man Who Didn't Look Right. A doctor with years of experience under her belt glances at her father-in-law and senses something's amiss. Despite his jest that he feels fine, she trusts her gut and insists on a hospital visit. Hours later, her intuition is confirmed with a life-saving surgery for him, all thanks to her ability to spot subtle health warnings her eyes had learned to see over the years. The story shared by Gary Klein showcases the brain's ability to subconsciously recognize patterns through experience, enabling individuals to make intuitive decisions without fully understanding the rationale behind them. This illustrates how habitual and intuitive actions develop from repeated exposure to specific cues. To manage and improve habits, pointing and calling and the habit scorecard are effective strategies. Pointing and calling increases awareness and reduces errors by verbalizing and gesturing actions, enhancing conscious engagement with tasks. The habit scorecard involves listing daily routines and categorizing them based on their alignment with long-term goals, helping to identify and adjust automatic behaviors to better suit desired outcomes. Awareness is crucial for changing habits, as many of our actions are automatic and non-conscious. Techniques like the habit scorecard can help increase awareness by listing daily habits and marking them as good, bad, or neutral based on their long-term benefits. This initial step of recognizing one's habits is essential for making intentional changes. Chapter 5: The Best Way to Start a New Habit. In 2001, a study in Great Britain aimed to foster better exercise habits in 248 individuals over 2 weeks, revealing a significant insight into habit formation. This study divided participants into 3 groups: a control group that merely tracked their exercise, a motivation group that received educational material on the benefits of exercise, and a third group that, in addition to the motivational information, formulated a specific plan detailing when and where they would exercise. The result was striking. While only about 35 to 38% of the first 2 groups exercised at least once a week, an impressive 91% of the third group adhered to their exercise routine. This third group strategy is known as an implementation intention, a premeditated plan that precisely outlines the execution of a new habit. The success of the third group underscores a vital principle in habit formation: specificity in planning significantly increases the likelihood of action. Implementation intentions act by converting vague aspirations into concrete action steps, making it clear when and where to act. The formula for creating an implementation intention follows the structure: I will behavior at, time, in, location. This method not only enhances motivation but also provides a robust framework for initiating new habits by eliminating ambiguity about the action specifics. Additionally, habit stacking, a strategy that involves adding a new habit onto an existing one, further simplifies the process of habit formation. By associating a new behavior with a routine activity, it becomes easier to remember and more likely to be performed. This technique leverages the natural momentum of daily routines to incorporate new habits seamlessly into one's life. Habit stacking and implementation intentions both highlight the importance of clear, actionable plans in habit formation. They demonstrate that when we define the precise conditions under which a habit should take place, we significantly increase our chances of success. These strategies emphasize that achieving lasting change often requires more than just motivation. It requires a plan that makes the desired action obvious and straightforward to implement. Chapter 6: Motivation is overrated. Environment often matters more. Anne Thorndike's innovative approach to improving eating habits within a hospital setting illustrates the profound impact of environmental cues on human behavior. By simply rearranging the availability of drinks, specifically by increasing the visibility and accessibility of water, Thorndike was able to significantly shift consumption patterns among hospital staff and visitors. This intervention led to a decrease in soda sales by 11.4% and an increase in bottled water sales by 25.8%, without any direct appeal to the individual's motivation or willpower. This phenomenon underscores a critical aspect of habit formation: the environment's role as a powerful influencer of behavior. The study exemplifies how subtle changes in the choice architecture of an environment can naturally guide individuals towards healthier choices, highlighting the concept that we are often products of our surroundings. The cues embedded in our daily environments shape our actions, often without our conscious awareness, suggesting that by altering these cues, we can facilitate the formation of new, healthier habits. Thorndike's work is a testament to the strategy of leveraging environmental design for behavior change. By making desired behaviors more visible and accessible, it's possible to encourage their adoption without necessitating a change in individual motivation. This approach can be applied beyond dietary habits to virtually any aspect of behavior modification, offering a template for how we might design our surroundings to support our goals and desired habits. Chapter 7: The Secret to Self-Control. The story of U.S. soldiers in Vietnam overcoming heroin addiction upon returning home underscores a profound insight into human behavior and the power of environment over our habits and choices. Despite the common belief in the unyielding grip of addiction, the dramatic change in context from the war zone to home led to a surprisingly high rate of recovery among the soldiers. This phenomenon challenges the traditional notion that overcoming bad habits or addictions is solely a matter of willpower or moral strength. Instead, it highlights how environmental cues play a significant role in triggering habitual behaviors, whether good or bad. The concept that individuals with the best self-control are those who use it the least because they structure their lives to avoid temptation is a critical lesson. It's not about constantly resisting temptation through sheer willpower, but about smartly designing one's environment to naturally promote better habits and reduce the chances of falling into bad ones. For instance, simple changes like rearranging the visibility and accessibility of healthier food options can naturally encourage healthier eating habits without requiring individuals to consciously decide to eat better. The second law: make it attractive. Chapter 8: How to make a habit irresistible. Temptation bundling is a strategy for making habits irresistible by combining something you need to do with something you want to do. This approach leverages dopamine, a neurotransmitter that not only signals pleasure but also anticipation and motivation. By pairing an enjoyable activity with a less desirable one, the overall task becomes more attractive, increasing the likelihood of habit formation. Implementing a formula of habit stacking and temptation bundling, where you follow a current habit with a needed one, and then a desired one, creates a practical way to apply this concept. Chapter 9: The Role of Family and Friends in Shaping Your Habits. In the 1970s, Hungarian educator Laszlo Polgár embarked on an experiment to prove geniuses are made through early specialized training. He chose chess as the field for his three daughters, Susan, Sophia, and Judith, believing that with the right guidance, any child could achieve greatness. The Polgár sisters were homeschooled, allowing for intensive daily chess practice under their father's tutelage. The results were extraordinary. All three sisters achieved significant success in chess. Susan became the first woman to earn the prestigious Grandmaster title. Sophia, known for her creative play, also reached Grandmaster status. Judith, the youngest, broke Bobby Fischer's record to become the youngest Grandmaster at the time and remained the top female chess player for over 2 decades, even competing successfully against the top male players. The achievements of the Polgár sisters supported Laszlo Polgár's theory, challenging traditional beliefs about talent and intelligence in chess. Their story illustrates the power of dedicated training and a supportive environment in reaching high levels of skill, showing that, with enough practice and the right conditions, achieving excellence is possible. Our habits are significantly shaped by the social environments we inhabit, often imitating those closest to us, the broader community, and figures of authority or success. This imitation is a survival mechanism, enabling us to blend into various social groups and adopt behaviors that are deemed acceptable or desirable. Whether it's through direct influence or the subtle pressures of social norms, we are constantly adapting our behaviors to align with those around us. Chapter 10: How to Find and Fix the Causes of Your Bad Habits. Habits stem from basic human desires, such as the need for acceptance or stress relief. Modern habits, like using social media or eating junk food, are just new ways to meet these old desires. Cues play a key role in habit formation. By changing the interpretation of these cues, habits can be transformed. For example, reframing the act of smoking as unattractive can diminish the desire to smoke. Understanding the root causes of our habits involves recognizing that every behavior is a response to an underlying motive manifested through specific cravings. By reframing our perceptions and associations with these habits, we can transform them from undesirable actions into positive ones. This strategies like emphasizing the benefits of challenging habits or creating motivation rituals can help in reprogramming our responses to cues, making it easier to adopt healthier habits. Associate habits you want to keep doing with positive emotions and habits you want to stop with negative emotions. The third law, make it easy. Chapter 11, walk slowly, but never backward. Jerry Uelsman, a professor at the University of Florida, conducted an experiment with his film photography students that demonstrated the power of repetition over perfection. He divided the class into two groups, one judged on the quantity of photos produced and the other on the quality of a single photo. Surprisingly, the quantity group produced better photos, highlighting the importance of consistent practice over the pursuit of perfection. The difference between success and stagnation lies in the willingness to practice and repeat an action, not in finding the perfect plan. Repetition leads to habit formation, which is fundamentally about changing our brain's wiring through consistent practice. Habits become automatic through frequent repetition, not the passage of time. Chapter 12, the law of least effort. Jared Diamond's Guns, Germs, and Steel discusses how geography influenced agriculture, demonstrating our tendency to choose the path of least effort. This principle suggests we naturally opt for the easiest solutions, a habit deeply rooted in our brains to save energy. This inclination towards convenience influences our habits. Technologies that reduce effort, like meal delivery apps, quickly become part of our routine due to their ease. By designing our environments to make positive actions easier and negative ones harder, we can better shape our behaviors. Priming our surroundings, such as setting out workout clothes beforehand, can simplify starting good habits. Adding barriers to bad habits, like unplugging the TV to limit watching, helps reduce them. The aim is to adjust our environment so the right choices are the most straightforward, aligning our daily actions with our long-term goals more effectively. Chapter 13, how to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule simplifies habit formation by breaking down any new habit into an action that can be started in under 2 minutes. This approach focuses on the ease of starting rather than the habit's duration or intensity. For instance, read one page could be the first step toward a reading habit, or put on workout clothes might be the initial action for a fitness routine. The key is to reduce the initial resistance to a new habit by making the starting action almost effortless. Once the simple action is initiated, it often naturally leads to a longer sequence of actions, making it easier to continue with the habit. The 2-minute rule is a practical method to bypass procrastination and seamlessly integrate new habits into daily life by emphasizing the simplicity of starting. Chapter 14, how to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Victor Hugo, facing a deadline for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, locked away his clothes to eliminate distractions and focus on writing, demonstrating the power of commitment devices to change behavior. This approach, making good habits inevitable and bad ones impossible, can be applied using various methods, including technology. For example, automating routines or using tools to limit access to distractions ensures consistent behavior without relying on willpower. By strategically designing our environment to guide our actions, we can effortlessly cultivate the habits we desire, making productive behavior the default and reducing the likelihood of engaging in undesirable activities. The fourth law, make it satisfying. Chapter 15, the cardinal rule of behavior change. In Karachi, Pakistan, Stephen Luby's hand-washing initiative with Safeguard soap drastically improved health in slum areas by making the habit satisfying, demonstrating the power of the fourth law of behavior change, make it satisfying. This principle, that we're more likely to repeat an enjoyable behavior, is crucial for habit formation. Our brains, evolved to prioritize immediate rewards, often struggle with the delayed gratification required for long-term goals. Immediate rewards can make good habits more appealing and help sustain them until they become part of our identity. Techniques like using rewards that align with our long-term goals can help bridge the gap between immediate satisfaction and delayed benefits, ensuring habits stick by making them enjoyable. Chapter 16, how to stick with good habits every day. In 1993, Trent Darsmid, a novice stockbroker, utilized a straightforward daily habit to dramatically improve his performance. By transferring a paperclip from one jar to another after each sales call, he visually tracked his progress, embodying the effectiveness of the paperclip strategy. This method capitalized on the laws of behavior change by making his efforts obvious, attractive, and satisfying, thus driving his success. Habit tracking. as shown by Deersmith and others like Benjamin Franklin and Jerry Seinfeld, underscores the power of visual cues and the satisfaction derived from seeing continuous progress. However, tracking can seem daunting due to its dual demand, maintaining the habit and monitoring it. Strategies like focusing on key habits and automating the tracking process can alleviate this burden, emphasizing resilience with the principle of never miss twice to prevent lapses from undermining long-term objectives. The importance of tracking the right metrics is crucial to avoid misdirected efforts. The goal is to reinforce progress and identity development associated with new habits, not to get lost in the numbers. Effective habit tracking boosts motivation and acknowledges the strides made towards desired changes, serving as a supportive tool rather than a goal in itself. Chapter 17: How an Accountability Partner Can Change Everything. Roger Fisher proposed an innovative idea to prevent nuclear war, suggesting the president must physically kill a volunteer carrying the launch codes to launch nuclear weapons. This highlighted the effectiveness of immediate consequences in deterring negative actions. Utilizing a habit contract, where one commits to a habit and outlines consequences for not following through, can enforce behavior change. Accountability partners and public commitments further leverage the desire to avoid immediate pain or social disapproval, making it a powerful approach for breaking bad habits and encouraging positive change. The last part, advanced tactics. Chapter 18: The Truth About Talent, When Genes Matter and When They Don't. The secret to maximizing your odds of success is choosing the right field of competition. Picking the right habit makes progress easy, while picking the wrong habit makes life a struggle. Genes can't be easily changed, which means they offer a powerful advantage in favorable circumstances and a serious disadvantage in unfavorable ones. Habits are easier when they align with your natural abilities. Choose the habits that suit you best. Play a game that favors your strengths. If you can't find a game that favors you, create one. Genes do not eliminate the need for hard work, they clarify it. They tell us what to work hard on. Chapter 19: The Goldilocks Rule, How to Stay Motivated in Life and Work. The Goldilocks Rule suggests that peak motivation occurs when we engage in tasks that are neither too easy nor too hard, but just right at the edge of our current abilities. This principle is based on the psychological understanding that tasks should challenge us enough to maintain our interest and motivation, but not so much that they become discouragingly difficult. Applying this rule means seeking challenges that are manageable and within reach of our current skills, pushing us to grow without causing undue stress or disinterest. Chapter 20: The Downside of Creating Good Habits. Creating good habits is essential for mastering skills because it allows us to perform basic tasks automatically and focus on advanced skills. However, the downside is that we may become complacent and stop improving once a habit becomes automatic. To continue growing, it's important to balance these automatic habits with deliberate practice, constantly seeking new challenges to enhance our skills. Regular reflection and review are crucial for identifying areas for improvement and ensuring our habits still align with our goals. By maintaining a cycle of continuous improvement and being open to adjusting our approach, we can overcome the downsides of habits and continue to progress towards mastery. The secret to results that last. The Sorites paradox illustrates how small actions, when repeated enough times, can lead to significant changes, just like atomic habits can transform your life through consistent, tiny improvements. Success is a continuous process of using these small changes to tilt the scales in your favor. With good habits, time is your ally. With bad habits, time is your enemy. That's it. Atomic Habits summarized in 24 minutes. You will find a link to the book in the description. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and share your thoughts and experiences with Atomic Habits in the comments.